I'm Dustin Baker. I'm a small business owner, SBA lending professional, and a strong believer in the power of entrepreneurialism to bring the best out in our communities. 2020 was tough, but I believe we're resilient. So I'm traveling the country, talking to small businesses and the SBA lenders who help them succeed in order to prove it. We're on a mission to build community through shared story. No airports for me. This is my chariot. The road is calling. We're gonna do some fun stuff, and you really need to come watch it because it's gonna be amazing and all the cool kids are doing it. So join me on the SBA Roadshow. And so we're gonna begin to ask some business owners tonight what it is that makes them tick and how they've kept ticking. It's getting dark.
Yeah.
Isn't it early to get dark?
Yes, it gets dark like 5:30 this time of year. It's awful.
Yeah, and the farther north we go, the darker it's going to get earlier in the day.
Yeah.
We're learning as we go. We'll see what we learn tonight. Tonight we're meeting small business owner Tim Kohler at his restaurant Ludlow Prime. We've never been here before, but it's a special place to us because Tim is the first business owner that we were able to facilitate a PPP loan for back in April, and that loan kept him in business. We've got another local business owner dropping by as well. Jared Reynolds is founder and president of Xenogen, a hair loss prevention company that he dropped out of med school in 2009 to found. So let's get you introduced. Well, it's cool to be here. So tell me, you were just telling us a little bit about sort of your background in business and kind of how you wound up here. 4 years ago, you said you started a business here?
4 years ago. I left the corporate world, what year is it now? Probably about 10 and a half years ago, I left the corporate world. My wife and I decided to come here. And when I came here, my father-in-law, he was a preacher, and he'd been ministering for 30 years. And so I came to Tennessee, fell in love with it. We found a place outside of here, it's called Rock Island. We thought it was a beautiful place. We were very successful right off the bat. We were in the middle of nowhere. We became full and jam-packed, and that was within a month's time. So now we're here in Tennessee. We've been here I've been here now for 8 years, but going on 4.5 years in this business. And previous to COVID, we had 2 locations, and we were starting to break ground on some other locations. But since that, of course, COVID has made you take some steps back.
Sure.
Fortunately, with the way that we've had a good vein of business in this location and our following, this has proven to be a good brand, and has good legs on it, has good lifetime on it. It was a challenge because we went from full service restaurant, and now all of a sudden we're supposed to be doing only takeout. And it, not that takeout was anything we couldn't do or challenge ourselves.
This isn't exactly a takeout type facility. You know, that's not why people come here, right? It's for an experience.
It's experience, and everybody challenges themselves with this industry nationwide, whether you're going to sell beans, rice, whether it be packages of food, whether it be your prime steaks you can cook at home, and so forth. And so basically, I challenged myself with doing all this type of things. I even did a provisions page where I had anywhere from toilet paper that was out, from paper towels, and so on and so on. But what we decided real quick and found out is that if we just stayed true to the brand and just had a little patience and take a breath, that we could be resilient. And knock on wood, knock on the steel table, it's proven to be effective, and it's grown very well for what we're going through right now.
You and food. Tell me about the relationship between kind of you and food and experience in hospitality, and what about this business and kind of gives you life, if that makes sense?
The biggest thing that gives me life out of any business, but I've been in hospitality the majority of my life, is employing people. And then employing people is, I think, just a complete incredible blessing to be able to do that. I'm always awestruck by the fact that no matter what I've done along the way, there's employees behind me. And that means that I'm able to help people, and not because I want and not because I need that for my ego. It's just I think that's a blessing to be able to do that. That drives me to employ people. What also drives me in this business is I love to take care of guests. I like to go beyond the expectations. I like to make memories. The way I've always looked at it is there used to be a restaurant called San Francisco Steakhouse. It was in Houston, Texas. Had a big old block of cheese. I'll never forget the big old block of cheese. But that was an impression on my life. That was a birthday that's sunk in my memory, and that is something we're providing the magic, because that was a magical moment in my life. And whether you're a young child or whether you're a business person or whether you're supporting somebody else or you're celebrating in a restaurant, there's a memory made. Yeah. And that's what excites me, to be able to be a part of that, just to be a silent partner in that.
Yeah.
Just to be able to provide that magic for those people so that they're comfortable, they're outside of their element, and they're in another element to where they feel just as comfortable as they are at home.
It's funny, when adversity enters in, the ability to kind of leverage that, it's always there. It just takes sometimes you got to swing the pick for a while to find it. But so we're grateful we found it, and you were a big part of us learning something new. And
Trust me,
anyway,
yeah. As much as I pestered y'all, I'm glad it came through.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, cheers again. Thanks a bunch.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.
Good to have you.
Xenogen, I created the brand when I was in medical school. Started to lose my hair loss, and it was a need for mine. I started to research the aspects of hair loss. Tried a couple competitors to my product. Didn't find they worked great, and ended up creating something that I think is a better hair loss product. We sell shampoo-based therapies that are plant-based that target hair loss for men and women in a more convenient way. So through my own need was why. I would consider myself a fiscally smart business person, or try to be. And I had my first negative months in terms of cash flow and EBITDA. I had two of them. I had them in April and May. In the last 4 years. So I've run my business efficiently lean, but May, April for the salon business was dicey because all the governors essentially said no one can go into salons. And most of our business is in salons. So there was an issue there. I wanted to be a doctor my whole life, pretty much. Ended up being an entrepreneur, not knowing it along the way. So I was the kid who would trade cards for more value cards. I was the kid who would, be the one working extra hours on Saturdays to make a little bit more money. I was entrepreneurial in college. I had a small sandwich business that I created for my fraternity system. So, it's not a very... It's not a good business plan. I had access to free labor in that my fraternity had pledges, so they could do the deliveries. I had access to very cheap materials because my kitchen in my fraternity house, I ended up working a deal with the vendor to buy extra supplies. And I would run after-hours sandwiches to all the fraternities using my free pledges. So I have always been a business guy in terms of I've always thought about doing this or that. I had a belly button business in college where I would sell belly button rings to girls, like in the quad, or set up tables. My girlfriend at the time didn't like that business as much, but I've always been hustling, I guess. So whether it's a lemonade stand or some kind of billion-dollar corporation, I just love business.
This season on the SBA Roadshow. Hey, Fred. We have left for Columbia, Tennessee.
To be satiated with a drink.
Get my good angle.
I'm not getting the whole story. Yeah.
I feel like everyone has kind of done that. We've all done the impossible. Now, do we all want to continue working in that manner? No, but we did it,